ShartimusPrime, ShartimusPrime. Reading comics, toys are hella sick, hella whacking it. Taking bad hits, taking bad shit. Subscribe.
Chicks with sticks. Hey, what's up you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another DC Comics action figure review on the DC Multiverse Signature Collection Batman Forever Batman figure. If you're trying to pick this up, you can do so at
Big. Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below.
So I'm very curious about this line. So far, I'm liking what I'm seeing. Even the Val Kilmer Batman is, I don't know, questionable. Batman, I mean, really, whose favorite Batman is the Val Kilmer Batman? But anyway, on the back you can see some product shots, and then he does share this line, or this wave, with the Flash, which I did pick up. There's a read-up over here. If you want to read it, go ahead and pause it now. And then on this side you can see Val Kilmer again, and then you get the little window sliver at the top, and not much more at the bottom, so let's get to it and crack this thing open. And here's the Val Kilmer Batman figure out of the packaging on his display base. And I gotta say, I like this figure for the most part. There's some things that bother me with this piece, but for the most part I really do like what Mattel has been doing with this Signature Collection line so far. I could see a lot more effort being put into the figure, but there are some definite misses in some points of articulation and, you know, some of the sculpt and things like that. So I will get into that, but there's some very cool stuff here as well. So let's get a closer look at that base, and then we'll get a closer look at Batman. So come on, man, this is cool. I like this. I like that they're catering to adult collectors with stuff like this. Very cool base. I like how it has the DC Multiverse on the back, and then you can see the Val Kilmer Batman right over there, not looking too bad. You can remove this if you'd like, so you don't have to have it on there. And then you also get the whole DC logo right there, and then it says Batman. This is cool how you could lift this up, and then you could put all the accessories inside there for storage. I think that is great. You could also remove this tab right here, and he does have a flight stand, so you can go ahead and just port this right in, and then you could put the Batman figure, plug him in right there. He has a hole in his back for it. There's articulation right here, so you could turn this side to side. Pretty nifty clear stand. It does rub against this piece of cardboard right here though, so that can be a little irritating. It would be nice to, you know, be able to have both of them on there, but not really a big deal. I think that's pretty cool. And what's also cool is you get all these pegs that you could port into the bottom of this base, so you could remove those if you'd like. It's a bit tricky removing them, but I'm glad that we have these. And then for the rest of accessories, we get these two sets of interchangeable hands. We get a pair of fisted hands, and we get these grapple gun holding hands, and here's the grapple gun, which looks pretty cool. I don't know exactly how he's supposed to hold it, with the bulbous upward or the bulbous downward. I've seen people pose it either way, but to just take a look at one of these hands, very glossy black plastic, nice wrinkles in there and everything. And then, yeah, so if we're going to have the bulbous pointing downward, it'll hold, but it's kind of angled, a little bit weird, and there's no direct spacing for the trigger finger. That's a little frustrating. If you have it going the other way, that seems to look like the more appropriate way to go. I don't know. Bulbous downward is kind of not really working that well for me either, so I don't know. Yeah, last attempt at bulbous downward and last attempt at bulbous upward. I mean, yeah, either way it kind of just angles out kind of weird. But I do like the silver paint apps, though. Nice silver paint apps. So here's a couple images of Val Kilmer Batman next to this Val Kilmer Batman figure, and I guess I could see the resemblance. You know, I don't think this head sculpt is really dead on. I don't really like that flesh tone. I do like that he has the bright blue eyes. That does look pretty neat, I guess. But it does get a little sloppy going from the mask into the flesh right over there, right? It's not the cleanest line work, but and I do like this very glossy plastic that they used for the cowl. It does look great in person, and it kind of has this metallic sheen to it. It's very glossy, very reflective. It's fun in person, but shooting pictures with it is not fun at all because it's just so reflective, and you're getting white spots all over the place. So yeah, that's just a little tricky to shoot, but it does look neat. And the rest of the figure does look pretty cool too. You get the bat logo right there. No sculpted nipples. Sorry, Juan. But looking on the arms right there, you could see some of that little bit of a glittery, I don't know, a little inconsistent color right there between the torso and that forearm, or that bicep anyway. Yeah, just a little inconsistent right there. Same thing with the lower torso. Definitely seeing more of a bluish hue right here, and then it changes to more of a gray color right there. So that's a bit irksome. But the gauntlets and, you know, the wrists and the hands look really good right there. I like how the utility belt looks. It does have some lines sculpted through the middle of it. I'm not sure if it's supposed to have those little lines right there. But, you know, I think it looked more like it was black. I can't remember off the top of my head. And then he does have the copyright stuff all over the butt cheeks right over there, just like my Charlita 1 tattoo across my butt cheeks. Copyright 2014. Charlita 1. That's what I have tattooed across my butt. Yeah. But anyway, looking at the legs right there, I do like, you know, that we get these big old meaty legs. It's just, they look a little weird. They just, I don't know. It's much better than what we've seen before. We don't get the crazy DCUC gaping crotch pits, so I definitely think this is a step forward, but there's still something just a little bit weird about this, a little bit too oval shaped right there. I don't know. And then looking at the boots, you know, you can see that glossy black paint again. We obviously get some toe articulation, which we'll get into in just one brief moment. You can see that we get the peg holes at the bottom of the middle of the feet, which I really like a lot. And then there's a back again, and we get that whole peg for the flight stand. And then the cape is pretty annoying. I don't like this cape. I feel like it's really cheap, and it just doesn't do the things that I would like a cape to do. I don't know. I like how it's cut right here, so you get the edges, but it just keeps wanting to fold in, and I don't know. I just don't have any control over it, and I guess I've been spoiled with some of the more high-end figures, you know, like from Mezco and stuff, but I wish there was something more that we could do with this cape. I really think Mattel's taken a huge step forward with their articulation, but there are still things that bother me. First off, the head is always kind of tilting to his right a little bit. I don't know if you can see it from all the way over there, but that does bother me some. But you can get his head looking up quite a bit. That's a new thing. And we can get the head looking downward too. And there is side-to-side motion, but no head pivot. I really wish we did have a head pivot over there. We get shoulder joints that move outward that far. They can move down. You can rotate forward and rotate back. We get a bicep swivel. Double jointed elbows. Yep, that looks great. I like that. And then all of the wrists swivel side to side and hinge up and down. We get an ab crunch that doesn't really move forward much at all more than that. That's a little short. It does move back a whole lot more so, but I wish it could crunch forward way more than that. We also get a waist swivel. Then we get the hip joints that move outward. I'm glad to see the DCUC gaping crotch pit's gone. You can see that he'll only kick forward that much and back the tiniest bit. Upper thigh cut, double jointed knees, and then the ankles move down. They move up. There is no ankle pivot on this figure, but we do get toe articulation. But still no ankle pivot on this figure. Come on, Mattel. I'm so happy you guys added so much articulation, but you didn't give it ankle pivot. You gotta give it ankle pivot. And to measure out this Val Kilmer Batman figure, you can see that he's standing just at about 7 inches tall. Then here's a Val Kilmer Batman figure compared to some other Batmen. We have the Ben Affleck armored Batman from DC Multiverse, as well as the DC Mattel. It wasn't Multiverse at the time, but this is the Christian Bale Batman from Batman Dark Knight. I think it's from the Dark Knight. But anyway, you can see how much taller this figure is in both of these. I mean, maybe about the same height as the armored Batman right over there. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And if you want to think about the articulation on this figure compared to this one right here, I mean, wow, or even this one right there, I mean, the articulation is just much better. Then here's a Val Kilmer Batman figure next to another Batman past. We have the Michael Keaton Batman from NECA Toys. And you can see that this 7-inch scale figure right here stands at about the same height as this 6.5-inch figure, but you can see that this is a much bulkier piece. I mean, look at the width of the heads right here, right? And then here's the Val Kilmer Batman figure next to another Batpast figure. We have my original Michael Keaton Batman toy from way back in the day. So yeah, he's missing his arm and his cape. This is the toy I had when I was a kid, so yeah, it's not looking too great.
Batman party, yeah!
High fiber. High fiber.
Why did you say that? Why did you say that? Why did you say that? Swear to me.
Drive through.
Then here's a Batman Forever Batman figure next to your average 6-inch scale figure. We have the Marvel Legends Big Time Letdown Spider-Man. Oh god, Batman Forever, are you serious? I'm not forgiving you for that one. Sorry. So I'd like to thank you guys once again for watching my video, especially those of you that watch the videos all the way from the beginning to the end. It really does help this YouTube channel out quite a bit, as well as when you guys hit that like button, leave your comments, and subscribe, as well as hit that notification bell. I really like this figure mostly because I like the changes that Mattel has made to their 6-inch DC Multiverse figures. I do like the added articulation. I really do think this is a fairly good attempt. It's just not quite there yet. I would really love to see Mattel to keep on trying. I know they have the collectors in mind, so I really appreciate that. That's why I'm not really being too hard on the shortcomings over here, because I definitely see the effort and they're making me happy with the changes that they've made. It's just that not all the changes I'd like to see are there, especially with that ankle pivot. You guys gotta bring in that ankle pivot, man. So I'm giving this figure a SUD rating of meh. because I really don't think it's that bad. I'm going to have this on my display shelf, and I'm going to be proud to have it on the display shelf. Val Kilmer isn't my least favorite Batman, definitely one of my least favorite Batmen. I don't know if anybody really wants this. Like, I don't know, did anybody get incredibly excited over the Val Kilmer Batman? Really one of the more forgettable Batmans, right? But anyway, again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Oh, and by the way, I do have the Flash figure from this signature collection, so I will be reviewing that next week, or probably in the next several days, so stay tuned for that. But again, please leave your comments down below letting me know what you think. If you'd like to see a photo gallery of images, it should be over at ShartimusPrime.net or on my social media at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Links to everything I talked about in the description below. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace!
Crispy.
Hey, new Shartimus Prime videos. Hey, you should click one. Yeah, click on one of them. Or subscribe if you haven't.